Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading today, looking at intimacy within your connections or even within your single life. All right, so things around intimacy, what's going on with that for you. So we are primarily looking at the physical intimacy stuff. Okay, so if you're under 18, turn away now. This should not be relevant to you. Okay, but I'm not actually going to be putting a age warning on the video, so I'm hopefully not going to be too crass with the way that these messages are coming through today. We'll sort of see how it goes. If I do need to put an age limit, I will. All right, but that's what we are doing today. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate that. Let me know if there's any specific topics you would like to look into. I am going to be using the Wild Muse Oracle today, as well as the Fire Queen's Lenormand. Okay, so this particular deck, it does seem to like to talk about this sort of stuff, so it tends to be the one I do use for this specific sort of topic. But like I said, we are looking mostly for the physical, but quite a lot of the time we do see emotional intimacy coming through to play as well. But we'll see how it goes for each of you. Starting off with Aries and moving our way through. Timestamps will be in the description box. You're more than welcome to check multiple placements. Okay. All right. Aries, what's going on for Aries? What does Aries need to know in regards to intimacy? On the topic of intimacy for Aries. Okay, so we are seeing here for you, Aries, rehabilitation. All right, so for some of you, you may have it's kind of this energy of a loss of intimacy, and we're slowly getting that back. So the drive, I suppose, is one way to look at that. Is a lot of you maybe have been having issues around your drive on an intimate level. For some of you, there may have even been like physical injury that you've been healing from. Others of you, it's more to do with your emotional healing and making sure you're healing from, that ex or some emotional situation, and you kind of lost your drive along with that. And you are in the process of, rehabilitation, getting back up on those feet and moving forwards in a different way towards that energy. Some of you are still rehabilitating, and it's going to be just a little bit longer. But others of you, it's kind of like you're starting to dip your toes back in the water a little bit and starting to have a little bit of that drive come back for you. We do see create and progress coming through here. So the need to be creative with your intimate life, Aries, that thinking outside the box, doing things differently. Yes, you may have a certain, way you like things to happen, but you may also need to start, thinking outside the box a little bit, be a little bit more creative and progressive with the way that you're approaching it, and, trying new things. All right, trying things that maybe aren't necessarily new things, but you're just doing them in new ways, new positions, all that sort of stuff coming through here, Aries. Aries, what does Aries need to know about intimacy? Messages of intimacy. Also with the create energy, for some of you here, Aries, be careful of pregnancy if that is unwanted. All right, Aries, intimacy for our Aries. Definitely be aware of pregnancy if that's not wanted, Aries, because I am seeing the pregnancy card coming through. I'm straight away, I'm kind of seeing what needs this progression, this needs to be for you here, Aries. The rehabilitation, in a way, is the progression, because it's doing things in new ways and creating new ways, new ideas of having fun on that side of things. Because, we not only do we see the rider coming through first here, knight in shining armor energy for some of you. We have the stork here, which is the pregnancy card. It is also your card, Aries. That's stirring things up a little bit. It's kind of like good news on the way that does stir up the way that you're looking at selfishness, and the way, we have the fox here as well. So being a little bit selfish in the bedroom, or independent, or I'll do what I need to do for myself. All of a sudden you might need to be taking someone else on board rather than just yourself here, Aries. So this is kind of like stirring up initiative, stirring up, changing it up a little bit, moving in a different direction, getting back up on that horse and going for it, but maybe needing to try things in a different way. So, if you've got a broken leg, obviously you might not be able to do that position that is your fallback position. So those sorts of things with the rehabilitation there as well. It's kind of getting yourself back into stride, and moving forward in ways that, stir up new ideas, new perspectives, new angles, new ways to get away from, player energy, selfish energy, that sort of stuff here. Okay. And there's a couple of you where it's going the other way, where, it's because you're finding the new elements of this fox energy. So for some of you, if you sort of stop and upon reflection, you maybe, some of you, it's more that you are a selfish lover now, and you're needing to sort of flip that on its head, whereas for others of you it may be the other way around, that you maybe have not been as selfish in the bedroom or whatever, and it's now time for you to be a little bit more selfish and take a little bit more control, and self-survival is key here. So you might need to, for some of you, there is this energy of the new idea is to quite literally take matter into your own hands, show by example, all those sorts of things. You might be just finding that some of your new perspectives, new ideas, some of you, maybe a little bit more independence coming through for you in some way. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you, Aries. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus. On the topic of intimacy, what does Taurus need to know right now? Whoa, okay, throw the half the deck at me, Taurus. You're getting too much. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know in regards to intimacy? We do see unconscious games coming through here, that maybe you are being a little bit strategic with the way that you're approaching lovemaking, that you're maybe only doing things to get to certain other moves. So that does need to come to a bit of an end here, Taurus, because underneath that I did have crystal clear come through. So it's kind of like, instead of just trying to maneuver into the right positions, you're needing to be very crystal clear about what exactly you're wanting here. And, so maybe a little bit more speaking and openness, open communication with your intimacy needs to occur. All right, because you are just sort of unconsciously having to sort of be too much up in your head while you're being intimate. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. The weather lately has been throwing me, and a lot of bushfires and smoke, and the weather's just changed over to cold rather than muggy and hot. It's playing unconscious games with me. So I do apologize for my coughing. But yeah, just needing to be a little bit more verbal about what it is that you're wanting or wanting to achieve with certain moves. Okay, so the word moves is coming up like that. So definitely look into that there, Taurus. But we'll have a look here with the lenormand. Okay, Taurus. What does Taurus need to know in regards to intimacy? Have fun. Oh, okay. have fun with the whips. We have the child and then the whip coming through here. So it's kind of like, even though we're seeing the child, we're needing to remove the immatureness, and be vocal and clear about what it is, be mature and about what it is that we're actually after here. But it's all about having fun, that it's all a bit of an adventure for you at the moment, Taurus. It's like, don't take it so seriously, because you're playing these unconscious games, which does actually put you up in your headspace, which means you're taking it too seriously. All right, so kind of getting into that energy of the child, where it's just playful and fun, and let's see, thinking of new ways we can play this game, kind of thing. We do have the whip here as well, so punishment, whips and chains excite me, right? So all those sorts of things are control. I'm getting a bit of bratty behavior coming through here as well. Strong on the bratty with the child and the whip here. So that might be something that is maybe needing to be integrated a little bit more into the bedroom stuff for you here, Taurus. I also am getting that, what's it called? The daddy child stuff, power plays, control stuff, that sort of stuff coming through here. But we do see the key. There's the key that unlocks those handcuffs that we have had out with the whip. But it's new opportunities to express those desires and to try new things. Okay, so it's definitely a phase here for you, Taurus, of trying new things, or trying things in a bit more of a clearly communicated way. So, it maybe not necessarily new things, but it's like the way that you're being very, very clear about the way that you want that to be is a little bit new for you here, that you're maybe directing things to occur in just a different kind of a way somehow. All right, different positions and whatnot. Those sorts of things is what we're seeing for you, Taurus. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, what does Gemini need to know in regards to intimacy? Intimacy for our Geminis. We do see the beauty sleep coming through. So make sure you are getting enough rest. All right. So this is like the opposite of intimacy. It's the intimacy in having just sleep together. Just sleeping next to somebody sometimes is much more intimate than the physical stuff. So, sleep is actually very important for you right now. Making sure that you're getting enough of that so that you can have the energy to keep up with the other stuff, Gemini. And we do also see the upside down, turn it around, spin it around, Gemini. So getting into some interesting positions for you here. I keep hearing the phrase upside down lawnmower. Is that a position? I'm not even sure. But you can kind of see that this girl here is on her head, butt in the air. So pretty self-explanatory with that one, Gemini. Maybe it's time to spice it up a little bit with positions. All right, throw things on their head in the way of role reversal. All right, maybe upside down is a little bit more role reversal. Okay, so that's what we're seeing there. But Gemini, what does Gemini need to know in regards to intimacy? Intimacy messages for Gemini. Whoa. One flying on out there. Well, we have the feminine coming through first. So I feel like the feminine needs to be very, the softer feminine energies need to be very taken care of right now, Gemini, whether that's you or your partner or whatever, regardless of genders, okay, the softer, more feminine energy is the one that does really need to be taken care of right now. There does need to be some emotional nurturing. That's maybe why we're seeing that sleep energy, because they are just needing that, that cuddle and the emotional nurturing, making sure that they've had enough sleep and all that sort of stuff. We do see the fish coming through here as well. So I'm not going to lie, whichever one the feminine is in your situation here, Gemini, material gifts are going to turn them on big time right now. That's the card of, materialism and abundance and wealth. Okay, it is also your card, Gemini, which is interesting, but material things. So for some of you too, it's needing to bring objects into the bedroom a little bit more as well. That may actually be advantageous to you. Maybe taking this feminine energy on a or being taken on a shopping trip, or to pick out new lingerie, or a trip to a shop that you can buy toys, that kind of thing. That's going to actually really work in your favor right now when it comes to the throwing someone upside down energy. We do also have the Tower coming through. So I feel like that's kind of partly what's going upside down here is, someone does maybe need a little bit of time to themselves, as a side note, once again with that sleep energy there, and the isolation from the Tower. But it's also, Rapunzel, let down your hair, go crazy. Let's try things on, flip things around the other way. But it's also a little bit here too, like, flipping those traditions on their head. The structure of how things have been, the traditional structure of your relationship needing to be sort of flipped on its head a little bit here. So I am definitely picking up on some role reversal stuff too, like, role reversal and, dare I say, pegging is coming through here, Gemini. So especially for those of you where that is the upside down for your relationship, okay? If you know, right? But that's what I've got for you, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer. What does Cancer need to know in regards to intimacy? Messages in regards to intimacy for Cancer. Take action. We also see no strings attached, Cancer. So quite a lot of you, no strings, okay? May need to lay off the bondage. But you're also needing to sort of take action with your intimate life here. And maybe, if you are in a partnership, the no strings attached stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going out and having a one-night stand or anything like that. It's kind of, that, how you see in the movies, it's like two people go to the bar and they're like, ooh, hi, I've never met you before. And it's like, they know each other and this is a setup. But so that could be the kind of thing that, the role playing kind of stuff where we're role playing the no strings attached kind of thing. But for others of you, this is definitely one night stand kind of behavior and, player kind of energy coming through a little bit there, where it's all just about taking action to put yourself out there, to have those little fling type energies. The physical stuff is take action towards the physical opportunities around you when it comes to that sort of stuff. Okay, a lot of you probably do have a lot of opportunities here for flings and short-term things and one-night stands, and that was very crass. I just heard the phrase, getting your sucked in the alley by a stranger. So maybe that's the no strings attached thing for someone there. Cancer. What does Cancer need to know in regards to intimacy? This is actually really interesting energy, especially for the single Cancers, because we do have the book coming through, followed by the ring. So the immediate message that's telling me here is that this is kind of, for a lot of you, this is your last chance, because you intuitively know that the next chapter in your life involves a relationship. It involves strings. So this is kind of your last little hurrah, I suppose, to go and have the no strings stuff, because from here on out, you kind of know your next chapter has strings. And there's this thing about, wanting to learn as much as possible about, intimacy and different people and whatnot, as you can. You're kind of trying to gain a wealth of information here. We have the fish there as well. So it's kind of like wanting to gain a wealth of information and all this knowledge and all this, skill before, you know that you're going to be tied down in a relationship. Not that being in a relationship is being tied down, but, it's just kind of like that's what it's giving. It's giving you just know that the next chapter has strings. And so you're taking advantage of the no strings stuff while you can. All right. So that's what I'm seeing for you, and learning as much as you can, trying new things and gaining new skills. So there we go. Cancer. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Leo. Okay, Leo, what does Leo need to know in regards to intimacy? Messages of intimacy for our Leos. I feel like my lighting is a bit weird today, Leo. Oh, Leo, on fire. So you're the star of the show right now, okay? That being a fire sign, you are kind of really standing out. You're on fire right now. You're, there's a lot of passion there right now for you, Leo. So it's kind of making the most of that. I am also picking up a message here about being careful, for feeling on fire in a more physical, literal kind of way. So be careful of those sorts of things that can be caught. Definitely needing to make sure we're protected from that sort of fire. But your inner fire is very on point right now, Leo. For some of you too, there may be, you can kind of see that she's got the whips. This girl's got the whips of fire here, the whips of flame. So there may be some bondage type stuff involved in that as well. All right, the bondage and punishment and all that sort of stuff coming through a little bit there for you too. Trust your intuition. We do see a blindfold there on that card as well. So, definitely, the whips and chains, the blindfolds and all that sort of stuff coming into play a little bit for you. But trust your intuition. You know when to make the moves. You know what to do here. You're on fire. You know that everyone's looking at you. You know that you're the center of the stage. Trust your intuition. Jump on it. Quite literally for something. That's what we've got there, Leo. But we'll have a look with the lenormand as well. Leo, what does Leo need to know in regards to intimacy? Messages for Leo. Whoop. Whoever the feminine for a lot of you might be you, Leo, in your connections, because you are very in touch. This is all about moving towards your feminine energy. We have the ship here with the feminine. So the ship, though, for some of you, there could be, outdoor experiences, that sort of stuff, going away for, going somewhere out of the house, going somewhere different, traveling for intimacy, all coming through here. But we do see the feminine sides needing to be nurtured quite heavily here as well. So, the soft vulnerabilities, especially with that blindfold and the power play stuff and the domination and the whips or whatever, the feminine energy does definitely need to be nurtured. So it needs to be very balanced with, whips with feathers and things like that. So the softer stuff needs to be taken care of as well as the rough stuff. All right, so that definitely needs to be taken into consideration there. We do also see the snake coming through for you. So this is passion, on fire energy once again. That, you know, everything is turning you on right now, Leo, that you really are on fire. It's your emotions. Your emotions are lighting a lot of these fires too, that you may not realize it, but, you know, no matter what the emotion is that you're feeling, you're kind of like, I'm sad. Do you know what would fix it? I've got this rage inside me. Do you know how I should get that out? And I'm in a good mood today. Oh, I should be, you know, share my passion. So it's like it is coming from your emotions, but there is a lot of passion, a lot of heat coming from you right now, Leo. So jump on it. Literally, like for some of you here, it's something that, you know, this might not be a forever thing. You know, we all grow and change and age and whatnot, and those levels might change, but you're kind of in the high drive for it right now. So don't hold back is what's coming through here, Leo. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. We will move on over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo. What does Virgo need to know about intimacy? Not going to lie, Virgo, judging off some of our past readings, you probably don't need to know that much about it because you already know. You're already the master, right? Virgo, what does Virgo need to know about intimacy? Mate, sex crazed sign. Not going to lie, Virgo. We do have create and progress. Okay, so the next progression for you in intimate life is to come up with new things, try new things. You know, you've kind of got a little bit in this rut where, yeah, you know what you're doing and you're good at it, but, you know, maybe we actually need to move forward and try new things and, you know, gain new skills. All right, you're very adept at what you do, Virgo. Even if you're not aware of that, you probably are. But like I said, Virgo, you are my sex crazed sign that comes through a lot in the readings. Whether you feel like you are or not, you attract it a lot. You do attract a lot of physical energy with being a Virgo. It just seems very natural to you, Virgo. So this is about creating new ways of having fun and exploring. All right, so maybe exploring new tastes and creating up brand new moves that you never even thought. You know, maybe if you've already perfected everything, Virgo, create something new out of that. Yeah, invent a whole new thing. Okay, you can do it. We do see healthy boundaries though as well. So there does need to be just a little conversation with yourself about what consent looks like, and that sometimes it's non-verbal as well. And sometimes we do need to just be a little bit more aware of that. I'm not saying that you're not, and I'm not saying that is this horrible thing or anything like that, Virgo. It's just I think for a lot of you, you need to do that for yourself more than anything. That, you know, I'm so skilled and adept at just being that for someone all the time, that whenever they want. But what about whenever I want? Like maybe I'm not up for it today and I'm just doing it because out of habit or, you know, whatever. So maybe needing to talk to yourself about that a little bit there, Virgo. Just having a little chat with yourself about what healthy boundaries look like for you and for the people that you're involved with as well. Virgo. Maybe knowing what your boundaries even are, so you know what you're not willing to explore, that kind of stuff as well, so that you can, well, within the realm of this, you know, we're going to look at all these options, you know. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know in regards to intimacy? Because everyone has limits, Virgo. You included. Even, it's interesting because it's telling me to say here that even within an agreement of no limits, there is still boundary walls. You know, there is still limitations. because, you know, safe words exist and whatnot. Pardon me. But also, like, someone else might not have limits, but you might have limits on how comfortable you feel about pushing those boundaries. Okay, we do see the clover coming through first here. Like bee to a flower. It's like this attraction. Once again, take a chance on this attraction. You know, it's kind of like you're attracted to something, like the honey pot. Getting in the honey pot. You're attracted to something. Most likely something beautiful with the flower clover reference here. You're like a little bee going to this. I know exactly where that flower is. I want to go straight for it. Only that flower will do. But take a chance. Take a chance to maybe jump in the deep end and give it a go or give it a shot, kind of thing. It's your emotions that have been holding you back. We have the moon here as well as the tower. So the fear, has been holding you back a little bit. That what if that flower doesn't like me, and maybe something to do with traditional roles as well with the tower here. You may there may be something very non-traditional about that particular flower and yourself, and that's partly what's been holding you back, because you have concerns or fears around the traditional connection there, the structure. Maybe for some of you that maybe it's someone from work, things like that, because it's showing some sort of structural connection here as well. Or they could just be somebody that, maybe that's why the healthy boundaries are coming up, because you're, wanting to take a chance here and jump in the deep end and give it a shot, kind of thing. But, this person could be somebody who they isolate themselves. They're not necessarily open. They don't seem open to that sort of stuff. It may seem as though they've got a boundary wall up around them, but you need to trust your intuition about, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Giving it a shot. That you never know. It's not until you call out to Rapunzel that you know whether or not she's going to let her hair down for you, right? So it does seem like it might be worth a shot, and especially in a creative way. All right, Virgo. So that might be something for someone there as well. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay. Libra, what does Libra need to know in regards to intimacy? Messages in regards to intimacy for Libra. Interesting. We do have Becoming Nobody coming out here, Libra, which we do see the scroll with the writing there as well. So it's kind of like having to go back to zero a little bit here, become nobody again, and start all over, kind of thing. Work it, because I feel like for a lot of you, you've lost a bit of zest, a little bit of drive, maybe even for intimacy, and I feel like a lot of you are you've kind of got, it's hard to explain what I mean here, but you've kind of maybe gone so far in one direction that you forgot what you even like when it comes to intimacy, and you need to kind of really get back to zero, reset, and start all over again and work out what it is that you actually like. With some reason, it's being specific about foreplay. That there's something about that coming through here about what it is that you actually enjoy about that, or don't enjoy, because it's kind of just like you've got so much muddled up all in amongst it, you don't even know what you enjoy anymore. So needing to kind of reset and just go back to becoming nobody again before, especially those of you in relationships, Libra, becoming nobody, going back to being like just within your mind space, going back to before you met this person, and taking out all their interests and what their interests are in the bedroom, to find out what you actually enjoy, going back to what you yourself might want, and sort of starting from there, rather, because I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you've become too much accustomed to what somebody else is desiring rather than what you actually desire here. All right, so trust your intuition on that one. We do see a blindfold in this card as well. She is wearing a blindfold up here. So for some of you, that may, be relevant as well. But, you've been looking away from what it is that you yourself really want. But I feel like for a lot of you, you've just been giving too much of somebody else's desires rather than your own, and just doing whatever's pleasing somebody else rather than pleasing you. So it's kind of going back to zero and trying to work out what it is that you actually enjoy. Libra. What does Libra need to know in regards to intimacy? Ooh, one flying on out there. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, that was the owl, the birds flying out there. So, birds fly, so of course it flew across the room. But it's kind of talking here too, because the next card is the sun. So in order to fly towards the sun, and that's where happiness is, and enjoyment and passion and fire energy, you do need to have a bit of a conversation with yourself and delve a little bit deeper, find the wisdom and the maturity, because I feel for some of you too, it's not necessarily that you don't know what you like, but your tastes have matured, and so it's needing to have a bit of a conversation with yourself and bring to light all the things, the hidden desires deep down within you, bring those out into the light. Because especially here too with the cross coming through, a lot of you, you've been feeling the responsibilities, other people's ish on your shoulders, and you're taking that on board as what you like, when it's not. It's what they like, and you feel responsible for their enjoyment rather than your own. All right. So you're needing to get back on the right path here. There may be some spiritual connections that are needing to be made here as well too. Some spirit, maybe delving a little bit more into spiritual, what's the word I'm looking for? But more spiritual connections that, like Kama Sutra and things like that. The things that are based about, because it's not Kama Sutra that's coming through. It's the like the withholding stuff, the spiritual stuff where it's like withholding, that's coming through. I don't know the specific term for that, but we also see the cross as well, in that sense of, there is a dungeon toy called the cross, right? So spread eagle kind of energy, okay? Especially with the owl there as well, that spread eagle kind of energy. For some reason, that word is coming through as well. So all those things may be relevant to you here, Libra. So that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. And Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio with intimacy? What does Scorpio need to know in regards to intimacy, please? Endless serendipity. That's a pretty good energy, Scorpio. It's, it's the bottomless strengths. It's going back for more. It's doing what makes you feel good, doing what feels right, doing what feels good, and just all night long kind of thing. It's endless. It's, for a lot of you, I feel like this does actually refer to relationships as well, that that you may not realize that you're actually, especially for those of you that are single. I do feel as though this is talking about this is actually your need for endless pleasure, not just 1 or 2 nights of pleasure. You're wanting that endless pleasure, to know that that's in store forever kind of thing. So I do feel that the want to consider relationships a little bit more here. We also see tell it like it is. Okay, so needing to be vocal about what it is that you want in the bedroom. All right, so not holding back, not hoping that they'll hit the right spot, not hoping that they'll do the move that you like, or whatever. Tell them to be vocal about that, and to tell them how it is. Be vocal. Some of you are like, because I am picking up here an energy here of someone who's like, there's someone else in the house that you're trying to be quiet so that they don't hear you, kind of thing. But you need to be a little bit more crass and tell it like it is. Like, I live here. This is something we're doing. If you don't like it, wear headphones. Or like, I can try to, keep it down, but sometimes I just need to tell it like it is, and scream it out for the world. She's here in front of microphones, so be loud when you need to be loud, Scorpio. Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regards to intimacy? Yeah, I just get this energy that you're looking for, the fireworks endlessly and forever, rather than, yeah, and I'm seeing that here as well. Because you are starting to be a little bit more fox energy here. We see the fox there where you're, I'm sick of pleasing everybody else. It's time to tell it like it is, and get the focus back on me a little bit here, and be a little bit more selfish when I need to be, and make sure that I'm getting what I want out of this, just as much as they're getting what they want, kind of thing. It's not saying you're not giving to this other anyone else that you're involved with here. It's just being a little bit more vocal about, this is what I want. If I want to survive in a if we want this to become stable and secure, we have the house here as well. Because I feel like for a lot of you, you're not having intimacy just for the sake of having intimacy. You're having intimacy to create bonds and forge connections, and to move forwards with relationships. You're not just doing it for the sake of doing it, kind of thing. Whether you realize that or not, because I am picking up here on I feel like it's a male Scorpio, where you feel like you don't think that that's the case, but it is. You're actually trying to create potential relationships for yourself, even though it's scary, because I'm just picking up on that for some reason there's a male Scorpio here where you think that all you want is the intimacy stuff, but it's actually more than that you're wanting or craving. For some of you, you're actually wanting that stability. You're wanting that to be regular. You're not wanting that to be just a one-off thing. You're wanting it to be regular. You're wanting to know that you've got someone to come home to. All right, because we have the house here. You're wanting to create a family. You're wanting to create endless serendipity. We have the lily coming through as well. This is long-term energy. And do you know what is very interesting? That's my card of emotional intimacy as well. So you are actually seeking a lot more intimacy than you realize. It's not just physical that you're seeking here, it's emotional intimacy as well. That, because endless serendipity, it's not just having that physical thing every night you come home or whatever. It's having the emotional security attached to that as well. Knowing that I trust this person with my deepest, darkest. I trust this person, and I feel comfortable to tell them how it is and what I like, and what, and take on board what they like. So you are actually, whether you realize, I feel like, because I do specifically feel like this is specific to whoever this male Scorpio I'm picking up on is, that you are telling yourself that you don't want long-term, but you actually do. And you're not aware of that right now, but the more that you stop and think about that, you have actually been searching for that. That's part of what you're looking for in these intimate interactions, and that's why some of them aren't hitting the spot for you, because you can't envision hitting that spot every day. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that person is you can't envision that person hitting the spot for you on an emotional level. So you are actually seeking something a little bit more than what you may allow yourself to think you are. Okay, so just keep that in mind. More than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel and we will move on over to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know in regards to intimacy? Messages in regards to intimacy for Sagittarius. We have in touch with your body coming through. We also have every step counts. So I actually feel like these are body goals for you, Sagittarius. For a lot of you, this is, you're actually wanting to, maybe lose weight, get healthy, or, put on weight, or just get, focus on your health in some kind of way, get healthier in some kind of way. And it's kind of like you already know that this is actually going to increase your libido, and it's going to, the more that you're working out or whatever this is, the more that you're moving towards these goals that you're setting yourself in your own body, the more that you are actually it's going to have this role and effect through your sex life as well. All right. So it does feel like it's a bit of a random message. I haven't received one like this yet today, but it is like that every step towards this goal does count, and it will actually increase your drive tenfold and all those sorts of things. The more in touch with your body and what your body needs, the closer you get to those goals. All right. So, and also obviously touching comes through strongly here, that, some of you maybe, I'm getting touch sensitive, but I'm also getting touch aversions coming through here. So, but every step towards being more conscious of touch is really going to move you in the right direction here with the intimacy, okay? Sagittarius. I can't talk, Sagittarius. I can be quite touch aversive as well. And then very, very, overwhelmingly touchy when I'm with the right people. I'm very weird with touch. I'm not going to judge anyone else for that, because I'm personally very weird with touch myself. I can, like I said, I can be I'm either all or nothing. Most things in my life, not going to lie. But touch definitely is one of those things where, I'm either all over you or don't touch me. So, Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know in regards to intimacy? I will have to check my Sagittarius placement. Maybe there's some answers for me in that, because I do have a Sagittarius placement. I can't remember which one it is. We have the owl, the birds coming through first, followed by the snake, and also the bear here as well. Okay. So once again, I'm getting the touch stuff with that bear, because the bear is all about boundaries and being strong and confident within yourself, but also knowing when you need to protect yourself. So I'm getting a bit of that touch aversion, touch sensitivity coming through with that one there as well. The boundaries, that knowing when to say, look, I can't be touched right now, or please touch me right now. Definitely coming through with that one. We do have the birds and the snake here. In this particular deck, the snake talks pretty much only about temptations and passions and desire, all right? So it's a nice hot energy, all stemming from emotions, all right? So, it's kind of like understanding that your mental well-being is actually playing a really big role for you with your sexual well-being here, okay? Once again, I'm getting that very strongly with those messages here, that needing to, for some of you, there is the need to maybe even seek out a psychologist or something like that, and discover where some of these things are coming from, because they are all stemming from emotional stuff. You can see here with the snake card, she's laying there in the water. So even though she's on fire with passion, she's coming from this very emotional place. and very grounded within her emotions, you know. So she's kind of being held down by her emotions, but she's trying to release this passion and this fire, you know, but it just seems like there's a bit of a blockage here for some of you that needs to be sort of talked through, or, you know, have conversations about those sorts of things. Maybe seek like advice from friends, advice from professionals, that sort of stuff as well. Especially too, because it's, you know, the boundaries are so strong for you here at the moment, especially when it comes to touch and things like that. I am just picking up very strongly that there's some sort of mental connection, that especially when the way that your body's reactions are very much in tune with the way that you're taking care of yourself and the way that you're taking care of your physical body, that seems to have a very big impact on your, you know, your desire and things like that as well. So you're kind of needing to make sure you're in a good place with your physical body, with your mental stability, emotional stability, all those sorts of things, because they are having a lot to do with the sexual stuff. Okay, Sagittarius. So that's pretty much the main message coming through there for you. You may want to check out your other placements as well. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know in regards to intimacy? Capricorn, on the subject of intimacy for our Capricorns. Interesting, Capricorn. We have boss up coming through for you. Why am I not surprised to see that, Capricorn? We also have prioritize reflection coming through here as well. So it's kind of like, it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of embracing your inner Leo is what's coming through here. Looking at yourself as, I am that bitch. I am that boss. I am, you know, the better that you're doing at work and with money and things like that, you're looking at yourself in the mirror going, oh, I am such a catch. I need to be worshipped and praised and have underlings is coming through here that, you know, this is like the boss and all the underlings are looking up going, Capricorn. You know, Capricorn is the God sign, right? So, you know, you're looking for worshippers a little bit here, Capricorn, not going to lie. But it's because you're looking at yourself and you're going, oh, how could they not? Well, and if you're not doing that already, that's more so what we're needing to do to embrace intimacy within ourselves a little bit more, is to really be like, I am that bitch. You know, I am that. I am all that and a bag of potato chips. Who wouldn't want to go of Capricorn? Who wouldn't look at Capricorn and be like, damn, Capricorn got it all? You know, getting all these sorts of things going through. So you're just needing a little bit more like just that damn Capricorn energy at yourself. And then it's just like you actually start to realize like how many people are looking at you. It's not just you looking at your reflection in the mirror. It is everybody, you know, that you are that. I don't know how many times I can swear in these videos before YouTube starts to get antsy. I suppose I'll find out after this video. It has been a bit risque. Okay, Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know in regards to intimacy? I just keep getting this worshipping you, Capricorn energy. Maybe that's what you need right now, someone to worship the ground you walk on, Capricorn. Not going to lie, Capricorn. We all know I'm a Capricorn, right? I actually went on a date yesterday, Capricorn. And one of the strong vibes I was picking up on this date was that this is the sort of person that's going to worship the ground I walk on if I let them. We do see happiness on the bottom of the deck, Capricorn. It's like stirring things up. Okay, we have the stork coming through first. So there is also a side warning with that, be careful of pregnancy if that is unwanted. That is the pregnancy card. But it's really stirring things up. New ideas, new positions, new ways of looking at it, new experiences. Embrace the new when it comes to the intimacy stuff. Embrace the new, trying new ways of looking at it or doing it and all that sort of fun stuff. We do have the cross coming through here as well. So it's kind of like, it is kind of like a new perspective on looking at responsibilities and, the burdens that have been on your shoulders, putting things on your shoulders, tying someone up on a cross, being tied up on a cross. It's stirring things up, stirring the shit, stirring up your responsibilities. I feel like too, like, especially with this praise you kind of energy I keep getting, we see that once again with the cross here as well. Praise you. And I already mentioned you are the god of the zodiac, right? So you be worshipped here. But it's also like I feel like for a lot of you, it's like you maybe have taken on a lot of responsibility in intimacy in the past, where it's like, I'm responsible for their pleasure just as much as they're responsible. Equality is coming through here from the past, but you're kind of like having a new perspective on responsibility and going, nope, I'm only responsible for my own. They're also responsible for my own. It's kind of coming. It is a little bit. It does feel a little bit more like this, shifting perspective of, we want some movement in the direction of Capricorn is numero uno. Capricorn is the boss. Capricorn is the center of attention here. But we do also see compromise, all right? We have the garden there as well. For some of you, dates, going on dates, they're getting out and about in public. There might be public spaces. There might be parks and beaches and playground. No. I take it back. Public spaces, social. Some of you might be delving into, a bit more public, being seen sort of intimacy stuff as well. Like some of you might be starting an OF or something like that, all right? Because you need to be praised and worshipped. I keep getting this praise kink stuff coming through big time. But yeah, there is a little bit of compromise there. But do you know what? It's interesting because I feel like the meeting in the middle is more so you're meeting them in the middle because this is what they want to do, and this is, it's new for you for what we're seeing with the stork here. It's stirring up new perspectives and new ways of new things for you. So it may be you that's needing to compromise a little bit and let them do what they want a little bit more. Does that make sense? Like, let them worship the ground you walk on, Capricorn. Interesting. You guys might want to check your other placements as well. But that's what we've seen for you, Capricorn. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. We will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know right now in regards to intimacy? Messages of intimacy for Aquarius. In touch with your body. I'm actually getting dancing for some reason coming through with that, Aquarius. Just being in rhythm with your body, in sync with your body a little bit more. Dancing may actually really help release the right endorphins for intimacy for you here. Just swaying. I just keep it swaying with the beat and swaying to the music and being in touch with your body. Like, dance, like where you're dancing and you're like running your hands over yourself. You may be putting on a bit of a show for somebody by dancing. But, it's also talking about, it generally does talk, this card, about the way that we're eating, healthy eating and that sort of stuff. So that may be relevant for some of you as well, that the more in touch and comfortable you are getting with yourself and your body, the more that you're moving out in the intimacy, expanding your intimacy stuff. For some of you, it's very much about the mutual getting in touch with your body in front of somebody, maybe. There is always a way. All right, we do see the big Thor's hammer there. The lemonade. This is my lemonade car. You know the Beyonce song Lemonade? She takes is it the baseball bat to the car? And then look, we've got Beyonce with her long legs, standing up there. I'm going to imagine it's on a car with her. This is my lemonade. The lemonade car song. The lemonade song card. There is always a way. All right, so it's not really telling me what that's about. It's like something that you thought you wouldn't be able to do, or it's like maybe I think maybe it's not so much to do with like physically unable to do, but more to do with like you're always too nervous to do that, or there's always a way. It's like getting what you want, but it feels like you're doing something a bit outside of your comfort zone, or something not within the norm for you here to get your way, kind of thing. It's interesting. It is giving a little bit of that mutual play thing again as well, that there is always a way to get what you want by maybe giving them a little bit of what they want. It's like it's like as soon as an obstacle exists, you decide, nope, smash through that so I can get my way. It's something about getting your way. But Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know in regards to intimacy? What does Aquarius need to know in regards to intimacy? Some of you may, like, there is a couple of you here that are, intimacy for you right now is a solo venture. All right, I'm not going to lie. There is a couple of you where it's a solo thing, but you're, getting more in touch with your body and what you like. And, there's always a way. There's always a way, even if you're by yourself right now, there's always a way to get what you need in the future. All right. Because we do have the Tower coming through first. So that can lend itself to isolation and being by yourself, so to speak. But it's kind of like you're just kind of really focusing on your core. For those of you who are, heavy gym, focusing on your core strength is good for you right now. It's the structure, the tradition. That there's always a way to break tradition and to do things within the tradition. It's giving me this odd example. It is giving me a really odd example about the tradition and structure. So you may be restrained by some sort of traditional structure, right? For example, a religious structure. And then they always manage to find ways around it. So there's always a way. For example, what was that? Is it Mormon, where it become very, I don't know if it's even a joke or popularized thing about the soaking and that sort of stuff, that there's always a way around it. That even if you're not allowed to, have sex before marriage, there's always ways around it, right? So it's giving me that as an example here, that there's always a way around the tradition, that the structure that you're tied into here. If you want your desires met, your wishes, your goals met here, we have the stars, okay? So there is always a way to get your goals met, to get your, dreams fulfilled here, your desires fulfilled here. You just may need to think outside the box. We have the clouds there as well. So it's kind of like you may need to think about it and in a logical way rather than just allowing it to go. You may need to sort of rethink or think it through, or think carefully about how to get around things, think outside the box, think outside the negatives as well, all right, because the clouds usually is a very negative energy where it's overthinking things and, anxieties. Okay, so thinking outside those anxieties as well, thinking outside the confusion that creates. But we're trying to steer clear from negative thoughts. We're remembering that there is always a way to have my desires fulfilled here. Maybe I just need to think slightly differently about what I'm feeling structured into, tied into here in some way. I'm not entirely sure how that makes sense, but I hope it resonates for those of you where that is the message, okay, Aquarius. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements as well. And we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know in regards to intimacy? Intimacy for Pisces. Your energy's been very cagey. You have boss up coming through first. Capricorn got that card too, Pisces. Some of you may be dealing with a Capricorn. But we're also seeing sacrifices. If you're dealing with a Capricorn, please go and check the Capricorn's reading, because you may be the person I was talking about for Capricorn, and maybe that's the sacrifice that you're making. Is that you're maybe, to put it quite bluntly, maybe you're needing to worship Capricorn a little bit, praise, because I was getting strong praise stuff for Capricorn, but I did also get the boss up card. But you may be sacrificing your boss energy for Capricorn, okay, Pisces, if you are dealing with a strong Capricorn. So just keep that in mind. But for the rest of you, that feels like it's just for maybe one or two people that are dealing specifically with a Capricorn right now, all right? For the rest of you, though, dress the part, look the part is coming up. That I hate to say this, but in order to boss up in your personal life and your work life, and you may need to sacrifice intimacy right now. It does feel as though other things are at focus for you, to be honest, Pisces. I definitely need to clarify this energy, because like I said, your energy is being very, very cagey with me. It's not really wanting to talk, to be honest, about intimacy at all. Pisces. What does Pisces need to know in regards to intimacy, please? It's mostly because it's like slow burn stuff for you, Pisces. Slow burn rather than fast passion. We do have the lily coming through here. Some of you may have some health issues that are putting a pause on the sexual stuff, all right? There may be, this is long-term energy. This is, maybe learning to be kinder to oneself and standing up for your morals a little bit more, focusing on the things that are, you need in your life long-term, that bossing up and in leveling up in those areas in order to, before you can sort of face any other areas of life here, like passion. We do see the sun, though, coming through next. Okay, so long-term happiness, it means that we're needing to reveal more the emotional sides of intimacy for ourselves, and maybe sacrificing some of the physical stuff right now, to be honest. Like I said, maybe for health reasons, maybe because you're focused on other areas of life. Maybe because your anxiety and depression are just, because that's kind of a health issue, right? That can really, really impact somebody's drive. Because I do have the clouds coming through here as well. So you kind of need to find the sun behind the clouds. The overthinking is getting you nowhere here, Pisces. It's actually debilitating you. It's creating a lot of confusion with your desire, your drive for passion. The physical intimacy stuff is being clouded with self-judgment, with, confusion, with other things in your life going on right now. Needing to clear that confusion a little bit. Start looking at the positive stuff rather than the negative stuff. Looking at the stuff that makes you happy rather than the things that make your mind swirl a million miles a minute. You're up in your head. You're not down in your hoo-ha or your whatever. You've sacrificed that, for your mind space taking over right now and focusing on other things, whatever it is. For some of you, you need to focus on these other things, whereas for others of you, this is something that you're kind of allowing to happen, where it doesn't need to be this way. But take that as it resonates, Pisces. You might want to check out other placements as well, to see the full layer, the full extent of what's going on for you here on the intimacy stuff. But that's what I've got for you today. You're more than welcome to check out those other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.